What do we call these? Do we call these pinwheels? Do we call these meat swirls? Biscuit ring? Or we do call them biscuit ring with meat filled? Or what? I don't know. What do you think we're gonna call these? Let me know in the comments down below. Hi everyone, welcome back to Lilac Oaks Farm. I am Renee, and this week it is kitchen episode. Yes, I know I skipped the farm vlog or farm vid, but that is because I actually fell and got hurt and I needed to take the week to recover. I'm not a spring chicken. I wish I was, but no, not. So it takes a while to recover. But now that I'm better, I'm gonna just go right into the kitchen because Easter's coming whether I'm walking or not. So for this week, I figured nothing better than making a crowd pleaser, great for those family gatherings or potlucks, because Easter's that time of year where we all start getting together and we go Easter egg hunting or church gatherings. So without further ado, let's grab our aprons and let's dive in. First up is our baking powder biscuit. So this recipe again is from the 1950s. So what they use is a little bit different than we do today. But first we're going to sift our dry ingredients. So I already sifted the flour, so we're going to sift it again. Add that in. Then we're going to add our baking powder. And then, so we're just going to sift it all together, and you're gonna get a little grinding because I use kosher salt. I do have a finer salt, but I'm just trying to use up the kosher. Now we are ready. We need some shortening, cold shortening. So I am using lard. You can use vegetable shortening that you can get in the tub, or you can use some butter. If you use butter, you might need to adjust the salt a little bit, and the milk. Do a little bit of milk right this moment, and now we're going to cut in I don't have a pastry cutter, so I'm using a fork. So I'm just going to try to cut in all that shortening, and I didn't use all the milk. I'm still going to use more. I'm just trying to get just a little bit wet and try to work in the shortening the best I can. What's great about cooking is everybody does things differently. There's not one right way or one wrong way when you're doing cooking. It's whatever you like to do. And then what makes it fun with all these older recipes that I love to do is because they didn't have a lot. So they didn't have these grocery stores like we have back then. So a lot of the stuff was from farmers, local sourced. So now for our filling. I am using ground beef. You can use lamb, pork, chicken, turkey, whatever ground cooked meat you like. So I am using our ground beef. You will need a beaten egg. I'm just gonna, basically it's almost like a little meatloaf inside the dough. And then we're gonna add some spices. Your typical salt and pepper. You can add some extra spices. I'm going to add a little bit of onion powder. Not a lot because it is potent. And then about a half a teaspoon of garlic. It might probably need more, but everybody's taste buds are different. So we're just gonna mix this all up. Now I am using about a cup and a half of meat. And that's all that is to the filling. Now, let's get back to our dough. Alright, so now that we got our mat out and it's lightly floured, we are going to get our lovely biscuit dough. I mean, you can't go wrong. I mean, who does not love biscuit, and you're adding a meat filling to it? I mean, you can't go wrong with that. We're gonna roll this out to about a 1/4 inch thick. I just want to make sure that nothing's going to stick to it. No, I do not have one of the fancy French rolling pins. I have the old ones that I grew up with. Like I said, you want to make sure that you don't stick. Now, I am not a professional dough maker, let me tell you. Not in the slightest. The struggles are real. So now I've melted my butter. Didn't melt it quite enough, but will do. So we're going to spread the butter all over our dough. All right, so now we're actually gonna take our meat and we're gonna spread it out. I'm so glad I used a little bit more than what they said. The recipe really said to use a less, and I like to use more because you end up with more biscuit than more meat. That ain't fun. It's supposed to go together. I spread it out the best I could, and now we're gonna actually roll it. This will be interesting. Roll it. I think my cinnamon bread, I did something like this, but with cinnamon. Yeah, but kind of like a jelly roll. I've never made one though. Now I made some room. I do not have a big enough counter, but I might have made this too tight. I don't know. For me, it's not tight because, you know, this is great finger food, especially for children. And I might have made some of it a little too thin. But we are going to be using the muffin top tin. So I'm going to make sure to grease this up. All right, so that way nothing sticks, because in my world, everything sticks to the pan. You can use the ring molds, or, you know, the egg ring molds where you can put them in your frying pan, and you can use those, or you can use the mason jar lids if you like to. I don't like to use them. They never work for me. With that all being said, muffin top tin it is. And we're going to cut these in 1 inch, basically 1 inch, just like this, and we're gonna put this, you can put it like the meat side up, you know, just like that, right in there. And like I said, mine might be a little small, but again, we're gonna go 1 inch, which, if you don't know, the tip of your thumb, the tip of your middle finger, those are 1 inch actually. And then we're gonna just put it quite like that in our pan. So again, do the same thing. Now, like I said, this is a fun little, oh, there's my oven. A fun little treat. A nice finger food to use for the kids. I mean, you could probably put cheese in here too. You could do a lot with these. I'm just giving you the bare necessities. And I'll have a little bit, only a few. So, as you can see, some are a little small, but then you got the middles. They should puff up and spread out. So, now these go in at a 400-degree oven for about 20 minutes. And there you go. your very own homemade meat filled biscuit ring. There's quite a few different names. I can't decide which I want to call it. Meat filled biscuit ring, or biscuit ring meat filled, or you know, just to me it's like a pinwheel, or you can call it a meat swirl. There's a lot of different names. But anyway, I hope you will try this recipe. Let me know in the comments down below if you did. Maybe you added some cheese. Like I said, I thought some cheese on top would be really good, or some other ingredients. Let me know if you did. And as always, I will see you in the next one.